Good insert time of day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cal, and this week we will continue recapping my adventures at ProgPower USA 2025. I also want to thank you for the positive reception on the last video, and with that being said, let us continue recapping my adventures at ProgPower USA 2025. I should also probably warn you that the shenanigans on day 3 go up an entirely new level in terms of silliness. Day 3 had a very unexpected start, for me at least. One of the festival staff members was handing out some leftover gold badges that they had, and he was told to give them to the back of the line outside, so I wound up getting one. This got me in 30 minutes early, which really helped since I wanted to get some merch from some of the bands. After meeting up with my friends, we headed into the theater for the first band of the day, South Carolina's Sometime in February. I had never heard of these guys until they were announced for the festival, and color me impressed because they did very good. Sometime in February is a 3-piece progressive rock/metal group led by current Between the Buried and Me touring guitarist Tristan Auman. And for a 3-piece band, they were very tight. They have a new album out called Where Mountains Hide, and it's really good. I highly recommend you check it out, and I also highly recommend you check out Sometime in February if they ever come to your town. Also, sometime after their set, I wound up meeting Tristan outside, and I asked him if he was ready for the next Between the Buried and Me tour, which started the week after the festival, and he told me that he was flying back to South Carolina the next day to rehearse. Tristan, if you're watching this, I hope you had fun. After sometime in February, my friends and I headed to the floor for the next band of the festival, Sweden's own Majestica. I hope you have your shot glasses nearby, because this is another US debut. This was a fun one, full of crowd sing-alongs, Tommy's amazing voice, and I could hear guitar strings being strung? Yes, really, I heard their other guitarist strumming his strings during one of the solos, so that was a very interesting part. Majestica are one of the rising bands in the Swedish power metal scene. Their new album Powertrain is one of my favorites of the year so far, and I highly recommend you give it a listen. And yes, dear viewer, as you've probably caught on now, they are fronted by Tommy Johansson, formerly of Sabaton. And coincidentally, I was wearing a Sabaton shirt on this day. And what made this already fun afternoon even more fun was that it was their guitarist's 40th birthday.
He's turning 40 today! This is absolutely amazing for us, for you, everyone to be here on this glorious day. But Petter, you were supposed to put your head in the cake. We'll do that. There's an after party. This man is not going home sober, that's for sure.
Man, I love power metal so much. And as the final notes of Metal United echoed over the theater, Majestica exited the stage, and the next band to come on was Bellacore, another US debut, this time heralding from the beautiful land of Australia. The band were on their first ever US tour, and my friends were going to go and see their show in Philadelphia the Sunday after the festival. But hey, they powered through and they had a great time, so that's all that matters. I only caught about half of their set, but I enjoyed everything I heard and saw. The reason I had to leave so early is because I went downstairs to go and meet Ornogan, and they signed my gold badge, which was really awesome. After meeting them, I returned to the theater for Rivers of Nile. This one was a very interesting set. First of all, these guys are a technical death metal band, so their style kind of differentiates with the prog power crowd. But they're also a progressive death metal band, so it works in their favor, and I have to say, this was a very entertaining set. They played several songs off of their recently released self-titled album, and classics from Where Owls Know My Name. And yes, dear viewer, there was a saxophone solo. If memory serves me correct, there were actually 3 of them. Again, I only lasted 30 minutes before I had to go to a meet and greet, but I enjoyed everything I heard. This time I went to go and meet Majestica, and they signed my Powertrain vinyl. In fact, Tommy told me that he saw me in the crowd since I was wearing my Sabaton shirt. Tommy, if you're watching this, you rule, man. After meeting Majestica, I headed back into the theater to see the next band on the bill, and by far the strangest one of the day, Progject. I can already hear the people in the comments going, and I quote, "Who?" Allow me to explain. Progject is a supergroup of progressive metal musicians performing 60s and 70s progressive rock songs, so right up my alley, you could say. The band has a revolving door of musicians and is currently led by Asia featuring John Payne keyboardist Ryo Akamoto. Joining him on stage are Alessandro Del Vecchio from Vanden and Plas on lead vocals, Devin Townsend touring guitarist Mike Keneally, DethKlok bassist Pete Griffin, and Jonathan Mover on drums, who's most famous for his work with Aretha Franklin and Joe Satriani. I absolutely loved this show. They played medleys from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Yes, Genesis, King Crimson, and Rush. Man, my dad wishes he was here to see that last one. I highly recommend you check these guys out if they ever come to your neck of the woods, cause they are a very good time. After Progject wrapped up, my friends and I hung outside before we all headed back into the theater, and I headed into the pit for the headliner of Day 3, one of the greatest new power metal bands of the modern era, Orden Ogan. May it be known that I absolutely love this band. And may it also be known that I absolutely loved their set. What I said about Finnish power metal in the last episode definitely applies to German power metal, as these guys put on an absolutely amazing show, performing a mixture of classic songs like Ravenhead and new songs such as The Order of Fear. But as many of you can probably tell, someone is missing from this picture. The day they were scheduled to fly to the US, their frontman Sebastian Lieberman wound up getting sick and he had to stay behind while the rest of the band came over. Instead of canceling their show, they used a backing track of Zabe's vocals from a previous show while they played an instrumental over it. And I'm pleased to say that the performance was wonderful. One of the funniest parts was that they had a guitar case dressed up like Zabe, and they made so many hilarious jokes about it. The crowd was going wild with laughter. My favorite part of the set was when the vocals went out of sync during Ravenhead, and the band made so many jokes about the Zabe guitar case. It was amazing. One thing I like about Orden Ogan's music is how heavy it is. Even by power metal standards, it is dramatically heavy. There are breakdowns, Meshuggah-style chugs, and my word, chorus hooks for literal years. These guys give every other catchy chorus band a run for their money. I'm looking at you, Bleed From Within. Funny side note, early in the day I jokingly told Glenn that part of me wanted to ask the band if I could sing for them in Zabe's absence, because part of me actually did want to. We had a good laugh, and so did Dirk and Niels when I told them during the meet and greet. And with the closing notes of the things we believe in, Day 3 came to a close, and my friends headed to the after party, while I headed back home because I was in desperate need of a long night's sleep. Day 3 was easily the highlight for me, but we still have one more day of epic madness to go over. Will the strangest progressive metal band that I have ever seen deliver a captivating performance? Is goth rock on the rise once again? I'm pretty sure it is, but don't judge me. And will we ever escape the hilarity of Jeff Scott's Soto? Probably not, but we'll see. Find out next time as we conclude my adventures at ProgPower USA 2025. Once again, I would like to thank you very much for watching my video, and sound off in the comments below if you were at ProgPower, because I'd really like to know what your experience was like. Until then, my name is Cal, and I will catch you trackside. Have a good night, everybody. Also, if anyone from Vanden Plas is watching, let Allesandro sing. He has an amazing voice.